Well, good morning and welcome to the Heffron Centre here in Maroubra. We're live and free on Bunnies TV across Australia and around the globe. Now we've come on a bit early because the halfback's come out. Doesn't come on, he's come out and he's putting his shoes on. You can see there, that's Jamie Humphries on camera. And we've already got Grandpa Bunny in the stream who says, "Good morning, Mabo. Looking forward to Captains Run this morning." And so are we. And Dave Morton, who was standing just over behind me, the new Toyota owner, he said, "Morning all from Maroubra." So Dave is watching live and also participating in the live chat live. And there's Hostie's coming out. So let me just check the audio. There it is. Yep, so it's sweet. So yeah, and there's Jamie, he's going back in. So we might be a bit early, and if you've missed the start, apologies, because the Rabbitohs do tell us that you need to have cameras ready 15 minutes before the scheduled start time, and that's what we did. We've been ready for a bit longer than that, but because they do come out early sometimes, the boys are quite keen, often they're keen to get out here. And yeah, so welcome everybody. I've got Oscar here running support, Oscar Zechner. And he's on the Sony A74, and there's the cheese that's coming out. Brandon Smith putting his shoes on, and it's not a very well kept secret, but in case you don't know, it looks like he's going to play because he was named in New South Wales Cup on the bench, and New South Wales Cup played last night and he did not play. So that means he is a chance of being a late inclusion because there was two guys that were named in the 17 to play tomorrow, Pete Mamazelos and Lewis Dodd, and they both played last night. So that means that we probably are going to need, and there's the coach there, we probably are going to need two players to come in to replace him. Now one of them is going to be Brandon Smith, we suspect. And then there's one other, and it might be this fella over here because there's only a few left on the bench, extended bench that they can use. So it's either got to be out of the two spots, has got to be either Brandon Smith, Cody Walker, Ryan Gray, or the bloke on screen, Jacob Host. So we don't know. We'll have a look at the ball work a bit later, and maybe we'll ask the coach in the press conference. But anyway, welcome. There's Ewan Aiken, the Ewanator. It's also hubby, Lockie Hubner. There's Blonky. Shout out to Mum and Dad. Had a chat to him at the footy last week. Ben and Nat. There's Tass, the new winger. We'll just spin around here. There's hubby walking out. There's Jai Arrow. You got Mavo on the camera here. Rabbitohs 757, and there's the cheese. Now I'm filming on the Canon camcorder. And like I said, Oscar's running support on the other camera. So we're getting clips, photos, heaps of content here. It's a nice morning here in Sydney in Maroubra. There's Mick from the Cast Patrol there with his camera. Does great work for the Bunnies. And here's all staff coming out. There he is, Jamie Humphries. So he'll be in the halves with Jack Whiten. There's no Latrell Mitchell because Origin 3 is coming up on Wednesday. What a game it promises to be. Legend alert, Jason Clark, grand final 2014, never forget it. He's now the team manager, took over from LO. And there's Hostie. I think he hasn't played first grade for a while. Be interesting to see if he does come in. And there's Ewan. We've got more players coming out now. One of them's Ryan Gray. He might be a chance of coming in, not sure. AJ, the new fullback. Will it curb his try-scoring feats? Will he get a meat pie or two up there at Brookie? So well, welcome everyone again because it's 9:15 and a few will be just tuning in now, but the Bunnies are all just coming out now for the Captains Run. It's Rabbitohs v Sea Eagles, round 18 of the NRL. And They're at 4 Pines Park tomorrow afternoon, 4:05, and it is a must-win. It was probably a must-win last week against the Dolphins, and that was a bit of a disaster. But anyway, if we can win tomorrow, we've got the bye after that. There's 4 points, and the race to stay within the top 8 stays alive. If we get beat tomorrow, then the gap between us and the top 8 gets bigger, and that is not ideal, as you can imagine. But anyway, they've got a fair side too, man. I had a look. They've got Tommy Turbo in the centres with Kohler, so 2 fair players right there. And our boys are going to have their work cut out. And this bloke's been playing well. Tallis Duncan, and there he is with Davey Mawale, Wombats Junior. And Tal been playing 80 minutes, a couple of tries last week. Playing good footy. Blonky again, Queenslander. Go the Blues. Who we got over here? We got the Stretch and Wayne. Look, a couple of tall fellas over there. So yeah, like I said, like I just mentioned, his assignment is Tommy Turbo and Kohler. So yeah, we're gonna have to play well. We're gonna have to defend well, and we're gonna have to hold the ball and do all the basics right, and then play some footy and beat this mob over there at 4 Pines Park. They're not going that good. They've had 7 wins and 8 losses. We've had 6 wins and 10 losses. So they've had only 1 more win than us, and hopefully it's 7 all after tomorrow afternoon, 7 wins apiece. But anyway, don't get ahead of yourself. There goes Aliva Havili. Now I'll take you out on the field in a minute. There's Junior there too. Ryan Gray. There comes Stretch coming over. He's going to say hello to someone. Here's the big man. He's going to say a quick hello. Anyway, we'll let him do that. We'll go out on the field. So, my question is, hang on, I've just got Keon over here. I better show you him. And there's Jack too. So I think, yeah, Jack Whiten. I think he'll be captain again. I'm not sure. I should have checked that. Playing 5'8". Here's a wave. G'day, Jack. Saying hello to somebody. He's going to come over too, is he? No. There he is. So he said he'll come over after training. So there's a few fans in here today too. There's no other media here except for us. So we've got it's exclusive here, exclusive live and free on Bunnies TV. And there he is. There's Keon. Now we'll go out on the field. Now, of question is going to be, is Brandon Smith going to play? Well, we think he is. Let's go out there. And is he going to come off the bench or is he going to start? I actually thought, well, would you start him? Would you start him, which is probably not going to happen. I'm just tossing it up there, but would you start him and then bring Havili off the bench? I know, I'd be tempted to do it. The way he's running around, he's jumping out of his skin is the cheese. Let's find him. There he is. All right. Say cheese. Brandon Smith. He's waited his whole life to wear the red and green jersey, and I think he'll become Rabbitoh 2010. And his junior club in NZ were the Waiheke Rams, and they wore red and green jerseys. And so the story goes that he's always been a South supporter. A lot of the Waiheke Rams community are South supporters because of the colour of the jerseys. And he's coming back from an ACL, a nasty ACL that he copped last year against the Raiders as a result of a hip drop tackle. Hang on, I just went off camera, just looked over my shoulder there as Keon's walking out. Yeah, from Elliot Whitehead, hip drop, and ended his season, sent him into rehab. It's been 10 months, just over 10 months since it happened. And there's Tai with the beanie on, the Rabbitohs beanie, keeping their head warm. And there's our 2 try-scoring machines there, Tai and AJ. Welcome to all our friends over in Papua New Guinea, all getting very excited. They've got a team coming up, their own team. But yeah, a lot of people are watching to see it. Oh, little nice ball between the legs there. Now, yeah, so like I said earlier, the team will change, we think, because Mamazelis and Dodd played New South Wales Cup and they were narrowly defeated by the Panthers there. They started well, they led 2 tries to nothing, and the Panthers just come back and got him. And Dave Morton was out there, and he just gave me a little match report. He said they had their chances. They had a chance to win the game late, but it didn't happen, and gave away too many penalties. But the Flegg and the Cup both were defeated out there at Penrith yesterday evening. They've got the women's, got their first game on Monday out there at the New South Wales Centre of Excellence. And all those games, that game will be live on Bar TV. Yesterday's were live on Bar TV. But yeah. So there was speculation when they named the teams. Brandon Smith was named on the extended bench with Cody. Now, I'm not sure that Cody's playing. I don't even think he's out there. But Brandon. Now, I actually thought if it was up to me, I wouldn't have played him in reserve grade because I think he's too good for reserve grade. If he's fit and ready to play, he plays NRL, and that's what they've decided to do. So, yeah, it's a long road he's taken from ACL. He was released by the Roosters. We picked him up mid-year, and you know, when they asked Wayne Bennett about him, he said, "Oh, well, we're not going to rush him." They haven't rushed him. There's been no pressure put on him to play, but I think we could see here he was working in the rehab groups, and he just worked hard on his fitness. He's been working hard in the rehab groups, and now he's running at full speed. He's doing full contact, and he's ready to go. And I know a lot of people are excited to see him play, and I'm one of them. So is my old man, Dick Maven. He says he's a great player, and we all know what he's done. He's a premiership winner. He's an international. He's played for New Zealand. So he is top shelf quality is the cheese. Now, we need to see the best of him on Sunday because it is a huge clash. As I mentioned earlier, it's one we need to win. And, you know, if he starts or comes off the bench, when he gets out there, we just hope we see the best version of Brandon Smith. But you know what? We can't put too much pressure on him because one bloke's not going to win this game. It's going to be blokes like the guy on screen, Jack, who's really been putting his hand up. Jack Whiten, former Raider. And yeah, so we'll have a bit look through the team. I just want to mention that for those that don't know, most of you do, that Bunnies TV does not work for the Rabbitohs. Bunnies TV is an independent small business run by me, Steve Maven. So just want to let you know if there's any confusion. And there's old mate over there, he's got his boombox going. He got featured by the Rabbitohs. He's got the vibes going. He's bopping out. Good on you, mate. I can just hear it too. I think he's got Akadaka going. Yeah. Might be able to hear that.
Might be copyright.
Yeah. We don't want to be copyrighted by your music, old mate, so we might talk over the top of that. But anyway, so there it is, Havili. So the other question is how he's going to be used, Brandon Smith. So is he going to come on and give Havili a break at hooker and play dummy half? There they are there on screen. That worked out nicely, which I think is going to be more than likely. But he could also come on as a middle forward and give one of the big men a rest. And so the choices are, I think at the moment, realistically, are either going to be the two guys on screen there, Hosty or Ryan Gray, to come in. Now, if Ryan Gray comes in, then that means Havili will get a break from him, and then we can use the cheese just as a middle coming on. And I know there's people in the live chat will probably have an opinion on that, and I'll be interested to see what they say. I will have a look at the live chat, so don't think I'm not responding, but I am filming, commentating here. And it'll be cameras off soon. They just do a quick warm-up here on the Captains Run Day, and then it's cameras off, and we pack up and set up for the interview with the coach. So yeah, we've got the coach up for media after this, and we'll set up for that. So have a look for that a bit later on Bunnies TV. It's always interesting, and I'm sure the assembled media will be asking him, what are you doing with this bloke here on screen? Are you just going to add cheese into the mix? Everything's better with a bit of cheese on it. Cheese on toast. Unless you're a vegan, of course, like my old man, no cheese for him. But yeah, look, he's looking fit. He's looking trim. He's had a new a new cut, and our newest Rabbitoh is about to make his debut. And we shall see. So, like I said earlier, there's no Trell Mitt. So AJ's gone to fullback. It's been a bit of a reshuffle. Tass goes to wing. You've got Aitken at centre and Whiten at 5'8". So it's a bit of a new combo. I'm not sure we've had that combo yet, but let's just hope it works. Let's just hope that we can play some good footy and go over there to Four Pines, over there at Brookie. I know I was talking to my mate Riggers this morning. He lives over at Manly. He'll be there, even though he's a Dragon supporter. He's going over there. He's watched the game. I think it's going to be a sellout. I'm just talking to CJ. He'll be there. CJ and his mate Cody's here. I was just talking to a family who are down from Ipswich. And Cody's down from the Central Coast. So we'll continue filming until they tell us to turn cameras off. And it's quite a nice vision this morning. The sun's just ducked behind the clouds, and when it does that, it makes it easier to film because there's no glare going across the viewfinder, because I'm watching through the digital display here. And yeah.
Might have just jinxed it there.
Then the sun just breaks out as I said it. Yeah, so interesting. A few changes. So they will trim the squad to 19 players tonight, but we'll get a bit of an idea when they go and do the ball work after the cameras are turned off. We will keep an eye on it. But yeah, like I said, whoever's going to join Brandon Smith in the 17's out there now, and it's either going to be, I think, Hosty or Gray for game number 3. I think it'll be for Ryan. Hosty's played plenty. Yeah. You're watching this on our Georges camera. I just mentioned the Sony A74. Oscar's operating that. You're on the Canon camcorder here. Head to georges.com.au for all your camera needs. And when you go in the store there in George Street in the city, let them know Bunnies TV sent you. We're also brought to you by the Juniors group of clubs. The Juniors Kingsford, the Juniors Maroubra, and the Juniors Malabar. There's plenty of great shows coming up at the Juniors. And if you want to find out what's on, head to thejuniors.com.au, click the What's On tab, and you'll see all the shows there, some sensational shows there. In the Whittle Room, in the auditorium there. And yeah. So valuable support from the sponsors. And I haven't heard from my mate Michelle for a while from Global Mouse Travel. She's been on a few cruises and that lately, but make sure you book your cruises through Global Mouse Travel. If you want to go to the US, Disneyland, Universal Studios, go on a Mickey Mouse cruise, speak to Michelle. She's a mad Rabbitoh too. She'll look after you. And last but not least, SEQIT up there in Queensland. Michael Gibby, best in the business. If you need some tech support, IT, business advice, seqit.com.au. All right, so yeah. I'm sure there's a few out there watching. I will have a look at the live chat like I said. And it's backs to the wall. The season is in dire straits. It's not good. We're second last on the ladder, but there is a couple of buys to come. Starting with the week after we play Manly. So one of the bonuses of the bye after Manly is that Latrell doesn't have to back up from Origin. So Latrell can just go out there, give everything he's got in Origin, and he's got the week off. Not sure what he'll do. I suspect he might go out to the farm go up to the farm for a little break. I did see the Maroubra boys out the front. That's Trell's business, and they've got a barbecue going out there. So if you're here at the Heffron Centre, head out there and have a chat to the Maroubra boys, and you might get a sausage sizzle, or I'm sure they'll have some meat from the farm there. I think Trell does a bit of cattle on that farm. The boys are just warming up now. AJ, can AJ add to his total and close in further on Ken Irvine? And regulars to the channel will say I always talk about this, and so I should, I believe, because this is a monumental moment in history. AJ is on the verge of being the greatest try scorer of all time, and that is going to be talked about for forever. So good on him, and I think it's going to be cameras off. We're going to finish on that high note. But yeah, he's only got 6 to tie and 7 to set a new record. And, it's not ideal that he's at fullback, but you can still score him from there. He's played there before and he fills in there good. So he'll go back to the wing when Latrell returns. But yeah, it'd be nice to see him get 1 or 2 more and close in on that record. Good luck, AJ. The Laperouse Pamper. Shout out to them. Is that it, Jess? Yeah, that's it. And I'll just turn around here. I'm going to grab Cody if I can, I think. I'll just have a look at the live chat while we wait. How are you? All right? Good. Where is he? He's over there. I can't really see him. Anyway, oh, there's Rosie. Hello. Come over. How you going?
I'm good.
You want to have a chat?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'll just make sure you're on camera. So, Rosie, how are you going?
I'm good. I'm excited for tomorrow. I actually think we'll get the win over Manly. I don't know. I'm feeling confident with this squad, and I also think Jamie Humphries is going to have an absolute game against his former team.
Yes.
I think he's going to do well because he knows, what's at stake here. And also, I just think there's confidence in the club. Even though we've had a not so good month, I think the team just knows. You know what I'm saying? I think there's an energy about the club. And from what I've seen from the team, from the players, and I think there's still confidence even if we're not doing so well.
You just got a feeling we're going to bounce back and get a big win tomorrow.
I think so. I think against all the odds. Everyone knows Brookvale on a Sunday afternoon is Manly's forte. However, odds are meant to be broken, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I hadn't really thought of that. Jamie Humphries has given us a bit of inside information on the Manly setup. So,
yeah, he would have, definitely. And I think he'll play good tomorrow as well because he'll be doing goal kicking, with Latrell not playing, and he would have known from his first time what to rectify and stuff like that, because he actually is that's the one thing I love the most about Jamie Humphries. Him with ball in hand, amazing. And that's one thing this club's really needed, a really, really solid kicker.
Yes.
And he came into the club, and I think he's done so much for our kick that's unexpected, and that's what we sort of need, that unexpectedness to the way that we play, attack and so on and so forth.
He does kick long, and it is good, and what I'd like to see him though is assert himself a little bit more in attack and start to set up the play a bit more, and I think that'll come with confidence.
I think so too.
Hope it does too.
I was saying this to someone yesterday after the Dogs game. It takes longer than 6 months for a halfback to fit into a squad. And what he's done this year alone is enough for me to believe that he's going to do great things for the club. He's had glimpses of greatness already. I think he's going to be a really, really solid player, and he's what we need. We're going to eventually rotate the squad. Players will retire, and that's just how rugby league is. That's
he's only a young fella, so he could be here for the next 10 years, and
I hope so.
He makes that 7 jersey his own.
I'd love to, because he's very unique. You don't see many half-lays, and it's very unique what I think he can bring to the game. I don't really think this has a lot to do with it, but his build makes him different, brings something different. You see, your small, agile players. He's in the middle of both. He's stocky, and does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Not so. What I mean? It helps the way he plays.
It helps that he's built.
Yeah, basically, it brings something to our team that we may not have, and I think that his fitness is good around the middle, and he's a great player. That's
Yeah.
I loved him the minute he walked in the club. So.
All right. So speaking of unique, what about Brandon Smith, the cheese?
Oh yeah,
What are your thoughts?
he's not only is he just a character, the way he plays and what he's going to bring to Souths is like next to none. I think the energy he'll bring to the middle, because he can play middle edge wherever you want.
Well, I was just speculating on that. I think he'll either come on and give Havilia forwards a break. Either way, he's going to be in the middle.
Yeah.
And, his resume speaks for itself, what he's done in the game. So let's just hope that he's pumped, ready to go, and he makes a difference when he gets out there.
Yeah, I think he will. And he likes the team. I think from what I can see, what we've seen at training and from the runs that he's had, like just with the squad, he gels well with this squad. And I think what he can bring is something that we have and don't have in places, like what we need. He's a player that is definitely a need. He can bring some more go forward, because we have great go forwards across the squad. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you have Keon, who is like a consistent, like, through the middle, he's going to get you your meters. But then you pass him out edge, and like he has this attacking ability that you wouldn't expect for someone that of his size and stature, and but that's a great thing about Keon, and that's why he's such a valuable asset to the squad.
True that.
And we just have good players across the board.
Any other favourites you want to mention before
Any
we wrap
other
it up?
favourites? The whole squad, it's like hard. I love them all.
You are a super fan, aren't you,
I'm a
Rosie?
super, yeah.
So tell us about your history of supporting the Rabbitohs.
So I started supporting the Rabbitohs because of my dad. So I was born in South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Same-
He grew
same
up
here.
in Redfern. So
Oh, you grew up in Redfern?
he grew up in
Oh,
Redfern.
he did, right.
But my grandparents lived in Redfern for my whole life. So
Cool.
I would spend weekends in Redfern, almost like, 2-3 times a week down in Redfern. And so for me, our house, well, it wasn't my house, my grandparents' house was down the street from Redfern Oval. So as little kids, we would run down to Redfern Oval, we'd try to get all of our photos with all the players and all of that. And so we grew up, and when I grew up, Greg Inglis, Alex Johnston, Adam Reynolds, they were all very amazing at the time. They still are. But, Greg's retired now, but still, his career
still
speaks for
amazing.
itself. Still speaks for
We
itself.
still love him.
Yeah, we all love Greg. So we were around that time, and that was something that I still love. And we'd come from Western Sydney all the way to Redfern just so that we could watch the team play, and that was the way that it is. And I didn't really grow up going to games a lot, because we just didn't. But nowadays I go to as many games as I can, and hopefully if we move to Allianz, it'll make it a little bit easier for the rest of our fan base, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that happens. But
Yeah.
you're doing, you're studying, I think, aren't you?
Yes, I'm studying journalism at the moment, and I'm doing journalism and business. So I'm hoping to obviously work for the club and work for Fox and Nine or everything in that degree. But I want to be a written journo and also a TV presenter one day, hopefully.
Okay, yeah. So like like Danica Mason style.
Danica Mason, yeah, that's
Yeah,
basically
she's
what
like the
I love
pinnacle.
Danica Mason.
Yeah, she does a good job.
Yeah, she does.
And the thing is, and I know you're like this too, she knows the rugby league, but she knows her other sports as well, which you've got to be able to do as a sports journalist.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I'm doing now more this year. Like, I've never watched this many AFL games in my entire life, but now I've become an AFL connoisseur. And that's the one thing about me. I only really loved rugby league, but now that I've done all these other sports, it makes it easier to become a journo overall. And that's
right.
one of the things I was taught when I was at uni in my first semester now, but hopefully my second semester in a couple of weeks. But yeah, that's the...
Yeah, and so as an example, you take Danica over to Wimbledon and she's a tennis reporter.
Absolutely.
So that's what you've got to be able to do.
Yeah, the diversity of all sports. That's the best thing, I think.
And you've done some work with the Cast Patrol too before.
One of them, Mick, I don't think he's here today, but...
Yeah, Mick's out there.
Oh,
yeah, he's out there with his camera.
Lovely. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So I do work for Cast. It's one of the best things. We're in the process of editing some stuff at the minute. State of Origin, Dolphins, Bulldogs, Raiders, so on and so forth. And yeah, it's really fun, really exciting time. I've been working, this is my 4th year with them, which has been absolutely incredible. I wouldn't have any opportunities if it wasn't for Cast, I think.
So they've grown over that
Yes,
period.
they have.
I've noticed it because they were started around the time Bunnies TV's, you know, and I hope I haven't upset them by getting you on.
No, they'll be all right.
No, we work all right together.
They're good. The boys are the best. They're very patient with me, and when I was doing my HSC last year, they were like the sweetest, and they gave me all the time in the world to like just work. And that was one thing. I know you don't really get that a lot in the industry, to have people that are that patient with you when you're trying to create, but they do just care, and they always help me out. So that's why I love them. I love them. They're so good.
Cool. All right. So you're not going out there tomorrow. You're just going to watch it on telly, or?
I would go. Yeah. But I don't have the time, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
I am probably just going to watch it on the television. However, if my times permit, then I probably might go down to Brook. I've actually never been to Brookvale, fun fact.
Oh, haven't you? Yeah, there
no,
you go. It's not the greatest sort of place to get in and out of, parking wise and all that. It's not ideal.
I've been told that.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So, all right, well, thanks for coming on. I'm going to have a look at the live chat now.
Yeah.
But appreciate you coming on for a chat.
Thank you.
And give us a score for tomorrow.
Oh no, I didn't even. I should have thought about this coming. I think the Rabbitohs are going to win. Mind my bias, of course. I think we're going to win 20-16.
There you go.
A couple of conversions are going to be missed.
Let's
Ruben
go.
Garrick, please don't for my super coach, but if you do, then it's all good.
All right, thanks for that.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to look at my live chat. So, all right, that was Rosie, special guest. Thank you very much. And I'll just have a look at the live chat. So I'll go right back to the start. And thanks to everyone who's live chatted on this stream. We've got there's about 30 or 40 people here, and Dave Morton, he's still here watching. Matt Dixon, is Brandon Smith playing tomorrow? Well, it looks like he is, mate. We can't confirm that until they actually name the side. But Grandpa Bunny said, Steve, pick and sound perfect. Thanks for your efforts. No, thank you, Grandpa Bunny. Thanks for watching and commenting and live chatting. I really do appreciate it. David Gardner, all the way over from NZ. He said, "G'day, morning, Marvo." I'll accept that. Marvo's good enough for me. Isaac Ryan, and Isaac Ryan said, "Looks as though the cheese is playing, and I'm very pumped." Well, it looks like he is. We're watching the ball work now, and I'm not going to tell you what's going on, but if you had to guess, I'd say he was playing. Dave Morton said, "Channel 7 is behind you." So there you go. I didn't see the other media, but Dave's pointed out that they were here, and I did see that camera there in there setting up for the presser. Wayne's still out there on the field, so we've got time to do this. Ned Smith's jumped in. Neddy Smith, he said, I'm afraid Brandon Smith will never show again full potential. Well, that remains to be seen, mate. You know, he's still only 29, and if he's fit and ready to go, I don't know. We'll have to see. Should Brandon Smith do a 40-20 tomorrow? Well, that'd be nice. So yeah, it's just going through. And Dave's saying there's only 17 out there, so well, we don't know what's happening, but we don't want to speculate too much. So yeah, all right, that's about it. Leroy Bacon's jumped in late, so thanks again, everybody. We'll call it quits there, and we get us set up for the Wayne Bennett press conference. So catch you later. Thanks again. See you next time.